What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back here with another video, and today we are going to be doing Mock the Mock once again with Trevor Sikkema's Mock Draft 5.2. Again, as we're closing in on the draft, I'm still working on a bunch of content behind the scenes. Don't want to be pumping out a bunch of team mock drafts because, again, I don't want to do the same single thing every day. And the mock draft simulator, I'm going to be honest, I'm starting to get a little bit bored of its algorithm because every single round there's always players that I'm going to want to steal. And, you guys have gotten plenty of it. So, of course, if you do have a video recommendation, do drop it down below. But I am trying to squeeze in a lot of draft content. So, sorry, SCU, I would do a mock the mock on yours, but we'll have that during the summer when we have other things that we're going to be dealing with. Because next year is finally the first year where I'm really going to actually be able to know some of the draft prospects personally, like Matt Corral, Kayvon Thibodeau, just to name a couple of them in case Zach Charbonnet comes out. All those guys I used to play with in high school. So that should be fun. Yeah, I don't know if Jaden Casey is going to be coming out of Cal, but just a lot of guys that I used to play with. So it's going to be quite fun. So keep your eyes out for that because I'm going to be super stoked on this next coming draft because that's going to be one where I already have some pretty damn good knowledge of a lot of the players and who they are coming into it. So let's start off the draft with the number 1 pick. This is a 3-rounder. We're going to make it through this pretty quick because we got some stuff to do. And again, some of these picks are just going to be all over. I mean, they're everywhere. All right. So we'll talk about it, and I'm already getting pretty damn pleased with this draft. So I assume because of the time frame, we're gonna have me basically become a silhouette by the end of this. So I do apologize for that. Your boy does get migraines, and my glasses, I'm too lazy to go and grab them right at the moment because I want to get this content out for y'all. And plus, you guys don't come here to look at me. You guys come here to listen to me and give me feedback and have some fun. So let's start off number 1, Jaguars. Yeah, we already know what's going to happen. As he says, write it in blood. Zach Wilson, write it in pen. We all know this is going to happen again. Eagles would have traded up to 3 if they thought Zach Wilson was there. So, well, they kind of just showed the cards of the Jets right there. So we already know what's going to be going on. At number 3, the Niners gained Justin Fields. So talked to the 49ers head scout today. He actually, this is quite funny because I thought he said there's 4 quarterbacks that the NFL thinks are number 1 overall picks, and he didn't say the NFL is not agreeing with that, but he thinks there's 1, if not 2, that could be a number 1 pick in another draft. So surprising enough, but the Niners did come up to here. Something that we do have to remember, as much as it would be irresponsible to move up and give away your entire future without knowing who you're going to get here, it's true. A lot of these teams they still don't have full evaluations of these guys. Pro days don't really mean jack shit. It's just like something to cool as a cool showcase while they're watching them behind the scenes. So the idea of ESPN saying did the second pro day end up changing their mind? No, that's complete BS. But they are continuing to do evaluations. So the 49ers did move up without a number 1 quarterback in mind. They were probably still open to options. I think Justin Fields is going to be where they land. You saw the synergy between Justin Fields and Shanahan right there. I mean, you saw Shanahan's face during those Mac Jones pro days. He looked scared shitless, right? He looked like a damn person looking at Godzilla walking towards him. But with Justin Fields, it looked like they were having a good harmony there. They're still going to Trey Lance's second pro day next week. So, I mean, all this is up in the air. I seriously think that if you're going to give up your entire franchise, you don't continue the way that you're going. You either say, we're going to boom or we're going to bust. So let's go Justin Fields. Let's go Trey Lance. I think Justin Fields has a way higher ceiling. And I personally feel like Trey Lance is just a little too raw to go all the way up to 3 to grab. I'm seriously on this Justin Fields train. I just don't really understand where everybody else thinks the value is higher on the other dudes. I just personally don't feel that at all. Number 4, Falcons, Kyle Pitts, perfectly fine with this pick. So far this draft is pretty pitch perfect. Number 5, the Bengals going Penei Sewell. I mean, I like it. If Kyle Pitts isn't on the board, you get the next generational talent. So I'm a big fan. Penei Sewell is going to be an absolute monster. And I honestly think they can use him as a guard as he continues to get trained by Riley Reef. I'm a big fan of that idea because they do have a gaping hole at guard. At number 6, the Broncos go Trey Lance. They move up with Miami. So interesting to see what Miami does at number 9, but I don't think Miami would move back after moving back up. It just doesn't really seem to make too much sense. And I don't think a 3rd round is going to be really worth it. They traded a next year 1 in order to move up 6 spots. I don't think they're going to move back for this year 3. So Trey Lance, it's definitely something the Broncos could do because, again, we all know that Drew Lock is not the guy. So you're basically saying, screw it. We're giving up a third rounder along to just make sure that we could have a chance of having someone who can change our organization. I'd be fine with it personally. I just don't think Miami should take that deal. And number 7, the Lions going Jamar Chase. I love that deal so much. I love the pick. Love the pick. Love the pick. Number 8, Panthers going Rashawn Slater. I love that pick as well. I think that he can play tackle, given the fact that, I mean, he has longer arms than most people. Again, I need to watch him personally, but I saw him move, and he moves really fast. I'm sorry about the glitchy camera. It's the school's Wi-Fi. It's been a little bit buggy, so hopefully it doesn't come out as like super choppy in the video. But I think that if he uses his length well enough, he has the arm length to be good enough for a tackle. And he has excellent athleticism. Again, he can be used anywhere on that offensive line. I love it. Dolphins going Devontae Smith. You're not going to be selecting a 160-pound dude at number 9. Honestly, Jalen Waddle makes more sense here. Personally, I think I would take Jalen Waddle any day over Devontae Smith because, again, that slot hole is still there, and you get Jalen Waddle, who I think is going to have a longer career. I mean, he played even through that, even through like ankle injuries and stuff. He's a true character guy, somebody who you want in the locker room. Devontae Smith, excellent talent, but it's just a little bit too scary for me. Number 10, Cowboys going Surtain. Perfectly fine with that again. I love how they're having why am I bugging on the name of the Avengers? Like, I don't know if this was the Avengers. I think it was, because I know that, of course, it's the Guardians of the Galaxy, Gamora, but I was just curious which one he was talking about. But I love these little quotes in here. Super fun. So big props to Sikkema. I believe that's the one who I'm looking at, Trevor Sikkema, for actually making an entertaining article. Big caps off to him. Number 11, Giants, AVT. You guys know it. I love it. I don't like AVT personally, but the NFL loves AVT, and that guard spot is the last thing you need to fill. And AVT is a really good value for it. I don't really see too many great guards later on. If you want to go Trey Smith in the second, or if his medicals aren't the greatest, third or fourth, would be perfectly fine with that. But I think that this would be a pretty good spot just to make sure, because that's a huge need, and you can fill it with someone who is probably going to be a perennial starter for many, many years. Number 12, Eagles going JC Horn. Honestly, with all the tackles and JC Horn still on the board, I'd be willing to take this. Sam Monson Sam Monson's against JC Horn, potentially even being a first rounder. I don't get that. I mean, he covered Kyle Pitts better than anybody else did. So, I mean, I'm just a little bit shocked about that. I don't really know. But of course, we can't trust PFF's opinion all the time because, again, they thought that J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, speaking of the Eagles, was worth the 15th overall pick. Number 13, the Chargers going Jalen Waddle. Again, I don't think that's the right move, but for the value, it's not bad. I personally would trade back with a team that would be wanting, like maybe Washington, and then maybe potentially moving back up. So I don't know, but I don't. It's very interesting that you're only trading third-round picks to move up multiple spots, but Jalen Waddle is going to be an excellent addition to this team. I really want to see what they do in the next rounds. Washington going Mac Jones. I don't know if you really need I guess it works. It's the Alex Smith thing where your defense is going to be basically the star and you can be carried to the Super Bowl. But I don't know if they can win the Super Bowl with somebody who's safe. I guess. I don't know. Number 15, Titans going Greg Newsome. They need it, but I don't think they need to trade up for it. In worst case scenario, you get Caleb Farley, and then your team's already kind of fucked as it is. So you're getting the potentially best corner in the class. I think it's worth the risk in that case. Number 16, Browns, Jalen Phillips. Do not trade up for somebody who you don't know is going to be on your roster in 2 years. It's just like, I love Jalen Phillips. He's an excellent talent, one of the best players. But, I mean, he's my edge one talent-wise. But damn, people are being arrogant as fuck about these concussions. He had to medically retire. It's protocol from the best medical school in the country. There's a reason they have these protocols, because people who actually know what they're talking about made them. And I mean, people, not going to be mentioning any names, but I've seen it quite often on draft Twitter, are continuing to say, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It's a big fucking deal, guys. I'm a person who knows it. I know people, a lot of my friends they stopped playing football because these concussions became a big thing. He had to medically retire and then he came back. Great. I love football too. Doesn't mean I'm going to start playing again. It's called, like, there's a lot more to life than just football. And Jalen Phillips, maybe after getting a couple other ones, will realize that. It's not meaning I'm not going to like not take him in the second or anything, but I think people need to understand that that's a huge fucking deal. And people are just being complete idiots, arrogant idiots about it. And if you guys want to fight me in the comment section, go all you want. I will literally tear you to shreds. I don't give a fuck. Like, this is one of the issues where I am not going to lose my ground. Like, I am 100% planted in this idea. You do not take Jalen Phillips in the first round unless you're trying to win right now, which the Browns could, but you need to be winning right now. Also, by the way, they wouldn't be trading up since they got Jadeveon Clowney, but man, I'm getting a little bit fired up right now, but people are just being freaking idiots about Jalen Phillips, and it's literally irritating me. And I know I'm calling out a couple of you guys in the comment section, but damn, it pisses me off. I'm gonna be honest. Most of the stuff, I'm fine. I'm fine with like your guys' opinions, but shit like that, you can't just be arrogant fucks like that. I mean, this is a human being. They're not just a freaking animal that you get to use until they're done, and then you just put them down. I mean, this guy is like 50, 60 more years after he stops playing. So, like, let him actually live. And I'm just like legitimately concerned that he'll be valuing his life, which I will 100% respect over the future in football. And people just don't get that. Number 17, Raiders going Michael Parsons. Love it. They need a Sam blitzing linebacker, and he's perfect for that. He can pass rush, he can run stuff. His coverage, I've heard, is not the greatest in the world, but honestly, I saw him and it wasn't that bad. So I'm a big fan of it. Love Michael Parsons. Running that speed as well. He can play that safety role. He can play a box safety if you want. But again, because I don't know if Jonathan Abram is really the answer, but I don't know. Dolphins getting Aziz. I just don't. You guys have to help me on this one, man. Because I'm pretty sure you guys run a 4-3. Why are you guys getting a 3-4 outside linebacker? The guy's like, what, 240 pounds? Yeah, like, what? I just don't understand. You're replacing a guy like Lawson, who I believe is like 260, 270, with a guy who's 240. It doesn't really make sense for me. I'm a little bit intrigued. So please help me out with that, because Azeez Ojulari is a great talent, but it just doesn't seem like a scheme fit to me. Vikings go to Jason Oweh. I could 100% see this because they're not really in Super Bowl window, but they're definitely willing to take a shot on somebody who could be a Danielle Hunter-esque type of player. And if Danielle Hunter is going to sit out, I mean, that's going to suck for Jason Oweh's development, but it's kind of worth taking a shot on because you never know. You could get the next Danielle Hunter. I can totally understand this since they got an extra third round out of it. I mean, again, that could translate to trying to trade for someone's next year 1, someone's next year 2. So I'm a big fan of the Vikings trading back and still solidifying their edge core. I mean, obviously I go Kwity Paye here, but if the Vikings really want to just go pure upside, you can go away. Because again, that athleticism was, I mean, we went crazy about after Montez Sweat, but Montez Sweat showed a lot more in college, in my opinion. Bears going Darsaw. I love this pick. Absolutely love it. He's not going to fall this far because Darsaw is young and he has a lot of experience, and I love him, but, he's great. 21, Colts, Tevin Jenkins. This could actually work. It could. I think that Carson Wentz needs a more mobile tackle than Tevin Jenkins, but to be fair, this is just where the upside is a little bit too good. I would personally go Samuel Cosmi here because then you can use more of an athletic rolling out type of methodology with Carson Wentz. But if you want to run a similar system to what you did with Phillip Rivers, this is perfect. You need that left tackle spot. That's what I'm loving right now. None of these picks are asinine at all. Even the Devontae Smith pick, I understand it. It's just, again, I think Jalen Waddle would have been a better option there. So I think that Tevin Jenkins would be a great option. It just depends on what they actually want to run. I think Tevin Jenkins would be an excellent guard. I think he'll be a Hall of Fame guard, and he'll be a solid tackle. Again, you just have to put him with the right guy. And I don't know if Carson Wentz is the right guy. But again, I don't know if you should sell your entire future for a guy that you traded a third and a conditional second for. So who knows? Maybe it's the right decision. 22, Patriots going Zaven Collins, trading all the way back. Who they traded back with the Titans to get Zaven Collins. That's excellent. I love the idea of Zaven Collins on the Patriots. I mean, I hate it because that means that it would be a really good pick for the Patriots, but Zaven Collins is absolutely amazing. To be honest, I'm not minding this draft whatsoever, and that's a really rare one for me. There's definitely some picks where I'm like, I don't really understand, but like overall, not bad. Jets Farley, they don't have to win right now. That's the wonderful thing. Salah just came in. This is a guy where they can potentially fuck up and then do really well. AVT's off the board. I think this is an excellent pick. I'm going to be honest. This is a pretty damn good draft. This is where I'm going to push back, and this is something that I used to be like, oh, great pick, and I love Eichenberg. But again, Steelers' prototype for a tackle is somebody above 320 pounds. They like these more big, meaty dudes. So I could have seen the Steelers actually trading up with like maybe the Colts, and then they could swap these tackles, and then it would be much better in my opinion. Because I think Eichenberg would fit. Because again, Notre Dame, Quentin Nelson, Eichenberg fits what the Colts run, and Tevin Jenkins fits perfectly what the Steelers run. Again, I another thing about Jenkins, he's going to be a right tackle moving to left. That's my only concern, but I think that he's definitely flexible on that part because his footwork is not perfect, so he definitely can switch it up. But yeah, I mean, if you flip those two, I'm on board. I just think that again, I had to be corrected by an NFL scout about that, so it's not something that is extremely commonplace knowledge. 25 Jaguars, Merrick, love it. Cardinals, ASJ. I mean, you traded all the way back and got all these picks, and you still got ASJ. Wonderful. I mean, Asante Samuel Jr. is an excellent player, excellent corner, and he probably will be falling into the second just due to his size, but he had a good pro day. He has an excellent mentality, and I love him in a Cardinals uni. I would absolutely love it. So again, I'm actually really liking this draft. There are other ways, other positions that I might go, but not for the Cardinals. So I like it. Kwity Paye for the Ravens, big fan of that. He could be an absolute wrecking ball in this squad. Again, I would hate it as a Steelers fan, but actually that's something I want to talk about. Someone asked, they still understand what my favorite team is. That means I'm doing a good job because I really don't give a shit about what my favorite team is anymore because I love the draft. So I appreciate that you guys actually didn't easily know who my favorite team was. Like a Bengal, you could definitely tell some guys he tries to skew towards the Giants and stuff like that. So Ravens, Kwity Paye, love that pick. 28 Saints, JOK, perfect pick. They can use him as a safety. They can use him as a linebacker. That's a great pick. Don't think he's going to fall that far, but still, really damn good pick. 29 Packers, getting Eric Stokes. Not as big of a fan of that one. I know his speed looks really good, but I honestly would rather take a Tyson Campbell at that spot because I know the NFL is higher on Tyson Campbell than Eric Stokes. And they run a cover 4, which is similar to like a man. So I think that Tyson Campbell will be a bit more locked down, but I would not criticize them as much if they went Eric Stokes. Again, the two linebackers I'd take for them are off the board. So technically, this isn't a horrible pick. So, I mean, I'm not going to kill them for it because, again, this isn't a stupid pick whatsoever. Eric Stokes, solid corner. Just don't know if it's the best corner on the board. Number 30, Eagles going Rashad Bateman. Again, Rashad Bateman probably shouldn't have been the pick there. But Eagles getting Rashad Bateman trading back up. I love the idea of Eagles trading back up in this case because Buffalo has kind of lost those premier 4-3 defensive ends, as well as we'll see if Christian Barmore wasn't taken in the first. So we'll see if Buffalo takes him at number 37. But Rashad Bateman to the Eagles is an excellent option. So now they have Horn and Bateman. And that's a legit option right there because he did play a 190 and then his highest weight was like 196. So, I mean, he definitely is not a perfect prospect. Cheese Gang Cosme, love it. Dickerson to the Buccaneers. I don't know if you really need to get Dickerson, but again, offensive line was being healthy was the only reason that the Buccaneers remained in supremacy. And he talks about how Ryan Jensen and Kappa are free agents for 2022. So it allows them to have some cap flexibility. I'm honestly on board for that. No, all right, we're gonna just fly through these. Jaguars, Rondale Moore. They need a slot weapon. I don't know if they need another Laviska Shenault. But I mean, I'd rather go Kadarius Toney here. We're gonna be honest. Again, Rondale Moore just played differently than he did in 2018. If it was 2018 Rondale Moore, I think that would be good, the 25th pick. But really not a fan of Rondale Moore, so that's just where I have my reserves. But I know the NFL is, so it could be because they definitely need somebody in the slot who could be a really good dump down weapon, kind of like an ETN. So next, Jets, Najee Harris, first pick. I'm really not vibing with at all. I just think that they already have LaMichael Pirine there who has some upside. This is where I would take somebody else. I don't think running back is the biggest issue for the Jets. If you build a solid line, I think that's the first step. And then you could go running back later on. There are some really good backs like Michael Carter, like Kenneth Gainwell, that are going to be really good RBBC backs that can carry the rock in a more elusive back scenario, more of a receiving back scenario. And then you have LaMichael Pirine continuing to develop. He was one of my guys. That's just kind of like my thing. But if you really think that you want to go one pure back with Najee Harris, okay. But Zach Wilson did have an RBBC in his squad. And I know that Saleh and the 49ers had a plethora of really good running backs. Don't think Najee Harris fits that mold. Falcons getting Rousseau, perfectly fine with this. It's similar to the Jadeveon Clowney idea, just a athletic freak. But of course, Greg Rousseau didn't test very well. So it's fair to say that he's down here. So you can use him as that 3-4 defensive end because again, you guys are running a 3-4 Dan or Peas type of scenario, which again you could use him. I think it's a 3-4 4-3 hybrid, but he fits perfectly into that mold. So I like that a lot. 36, Dolphins getting ETN. Again, you have enough ETNs on your roster, guys who can catch out of the backfield, more elusive. This is perfect for Javonte Williams, but I like where he's going with the running back scenario. 37, the Bills going Ifeantu. Second round pick, cool. First, second round pick, get Barmore. Get that just monstrosity in the middle. I want to see what he does with these other picks, though. Bengals going De'Ami Brown. This is a perfect place to trade down. But honestly, when I did a draft, I also went De'Ami Brown at this spot. So, I mean, it's not bad. De'Ami Brown is starting to become better rated. I think I have more as like a late second, but definitely easily taken in the early second if need be. Number 39, Panthers, Freiermuth. Don't know if that's the right move. I'm going to be honest. Don't know if that's the right move at all. But, I mean, they already did get protection. I think this would be a good spot. I can't hate on it at all. I'll put it that way. I can't hate on it. But that's something I'd have to think about. Number 40, Broncos game Baron Browning. I've heard some really good things about Browning. I've heard a very high ceiling on him. But before this year started, when I was reading reports, the Ohio State staff said he didn't want to practice. He had a really big lack of work ethic. And I'm worried that could show up in the NFL. We've seen guys from like Ohio State, like Dwayne Haskins, who have a really poor work ethic, end up really torching out. Lions, Amari Rodgers. You do need a slot weapon, and Amari could definitely be really lethal with the ball in his hands. Kadarius Toney, I think, would be a better option at this spot. 42, Jamin Davis to the Giants. Love it. I love that pick. Getting a more rangy linebacker is great. Niners, Kelvin Joseph. This is probably his best spot, but I would still go Tyson Campbell here. 44, Cowboys. Tommy Togiai is the first interior defensive lineman on the board. I think Christian Barmore is a consensus interior defensive line number one from my sources in the NFL. Next, Jaguars game Barmore. Of course, if he's here at this spot, then maybe it's worth taking just for the upside. But again, I think Barmore doesn't slip past 44. 46, Patriots going Elijah Moore. I absolutely love that pick. Love it. I love Elijah Moore so much. He's an excellent receiver. And I don't think he escapes the first round. I'm going to be honest. 47, Chargers, Jalen Mayfield. If you can use him as a guard, that would be great. But obviously, you will probably keep him as put him at left tackle because he played right. We'll see what they do in the next round because I really am intrigued on what they do from now on. Because if you can use Mayfield as a guard, that's a home run hit. 48, Raiders, Osai. I mean, you're just continuing to add more and more pass rush to the squad that desperately needs an actual true edge rusher. But I think that you're adding more guys who are kind of semi-safe because I think Osai is kind of safe. He definitely is somebody who won't be able to deal with power. And I guess you're in a division where you're not dealing with too many monstrosities at tackle. So it could work out. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it because I know they're running the Gus Bradley system, and that could work. That could work. I just don't think edge is really a need right now, given how they attacked it in free agency. I'm going to turn up the brightness a little bit for y'all. Number 49, the the Cardinals going Javonte Williams. I think they kind of just got that in James Conner, but you know what? I don't think James Conner should be a reason why you don't draft Javonte Williams. I think this would be a good spot for ETN. So swap ETN and Williams. You're on board with me. 50, Dolphins, Nick Bolton. That's a great value right there. He's a very high ceiling prospect. Number 51, Washington, Dylan Radunes. I love it. I honestly would have, if you flipped, well, I don't love the idea of Washington getting Radunes unless it's like the third round. I actually despise the fact that Washington just got a tackle here. I just saw Radunes and I love the value, but put Radunes over with the Chargers. And if the Washington football team thinks that they're going to be losing, if they're going to be losing Scherf next year, Mayfield would be a really good option here because then you can kick him into guard, and I think that'd be perfect. But honestly, I think that you got to go Jamar Johnson there. There's no other pick in my mind. I'm going to be honest. There's no other pick. Maybe a linebacker could be good, but no other pick besides that. 52, Bears, Wyatt Davis. Okay. I mean, just developmental. I don't know if he's going to be that great off the get-go, but, you know, it's a good – I'll never insult building the offensive line unless you have a fully built offensive line, and the Bears do not. 53, Titans, Terrace Marshall. Worth taking a shot on. That's all I can say. Colts, Joe Tryon. I actually really like that fit. Finally, somebody who could play 4-3 or 3-4, and he tested like 260. He was weighed 262, so he can definitely play that role very well. Steelers, Elijah Molden. We brought back Sutton for 2 years, but we did lose. We have a pretty consistent slot corner rotation. So I think that'd be pretty solid. One of my favorite guys in the draft. Seahawks, Boogie Basham. I like it. I don't care if you brought back Dunlap or not. Boogie Basham is a guy who's going to be able to make a day one impact. In worst case scenario, really, really good rotation. And then if injuries happen, you're going to be still competitive. Rams, Brady Christensen. Hate Brady Christensen, but I understand given the hype why he would make this pick. I still think there's better tackles on the board like Spencer Brown. That could be a really good fit, even if you want to move him to left tackle. 58 Ravens, Richie Grant. Using him as a free safety, that would be great. I don't like the idea of Richie Grant on the Ravens because he's probably going to be a damn good ball hawk, and he's going to pick off Big Ben 8 times. But if the Ravens want Richie Grant and they target him, I'm going to trust the Ravens 10 out of 10 times. They know what the hell they're doing on defense. So the Ravens are having a pretty good draft in my opinion with Kwity Paye and Richie Grant, strengthening that defense because the offense really, if you lose Terrace Marshall, I'm not going to be going after many of these targets unless you want to go Brevin Jordan. 59 Browns, Jabril Cox, solid linebacker. I don't know if I guess he's pretty solid value for this pick. So, I guess you're filling in something that you're trying to get with Anthony Walker. Saints getting Kadarius Toney. That's insane value. Bills, Peyton Turner. I'm not that big of a fan of Peyton Turner, but I've heard some very good things about him. And he had some things that popped off when I watched him against Brady Christensen. So I can see it, and at least you do get a premier edge rusher right there. Again, interior defensive line. Getting a Milton Williams would be interesting there. Having 2 undersized defensive linemen, good, would be interesting. But Packers getting Leatherwood. You have a semi-mobile quarterback right there. Leatherwood, he's going to have to work as a guard, man. I'm telling you, he sucked at tackle. 63, McGrone to the Chiefs. I'm happy McGrone's getting a little bit more hype again because, again, I think he's like a top 70 player. But the Chiefs desperately need it, so I'm pretty happy with that. And Levi Onwuzurike to the Buccaneers, absolutely love that pick. Gonna fly through the 3rd round because we've got to get some places. Jaguars, Brevin Jordan, absolutely love that pick. Love it, 10 out of 10. Jets, Ronnie Perkins. Honestly, they're running a wide 9, and I don't think Ronnie Perkins fits, but I'm sure that Saleh can do something where Ronnie Perkins will have a very big pass rushing role, and I'd love it. I'm never going to really be too concerned with the Jets getting somebody like Ronnie Perkins. 67, Texans, Tyson Campbell. I love that pick, but until you see what they did in free agency, where they got like 8 billion corners, I don't think you're going to be spending your first pick on someone who won't be playing this year. 68, Falcons, Stone Forsythe. The size and the weight combination, it's worth developing, to put it simply, and then you could put like McGarry into guard, but I don't really know if I vibe too much with that pick. I'm going to be honest. I think that there could have been a better use of that pick. Bengals getting Quinn Meinerz. I absolutely love that pick. 100% love it. Eagles going Pete Werner. That's good. That's good. I think you do need a linebacker. He's very solid. Dolphins getting Javon Holland. They do need a strong safety. I don't think they need a slot corner, but definitely somebody who could work as some solid depth. Don't know if that's the right move though. They still need center, and I still see Josh Myers on the board. I would probably take him. Lions getting Jamar Johnson. If they need a single high safety, which you guys can correct me on, then that's an amazing pick. Other roles, I don't like him in. So that's a questionable one. Panthers getting Derek Barnes. I have not studied Derek Barnes, but I would trust Matt Rule if he made this pick. I don't think it's the right value. Vikings getting Aaron Banks. I'm just not that big of a guy on Aaron Banks. I still think he's a 4th rounder, but if the value in Sikkema's mind was he's deserving of this pick, the Vikings could kick out Ezra Cleveland to tackle, and then that'd be pretty solid. 75 Cowboys, Adebo. They don't really run. They're running well, I guess they can work. It's running the 4-3 cover 3 scheme. So I guess he could work in that. He does have the athleticism for it, but I don't know. You're getting 2 corners and you have Trevon Diggs there. So you're going to have 4 corners that you're going to have to rotate. I don't vibe with that one too much. Giants, Tommy Tremble. It depends, honestly. It really depends on what happens this year. But if you're doing this, you're pretty much kissing goodbye, either Kyle Rudolph or else the future of Evan Ingram, because you really need to solidify some other pieces on this team before you're going for a backup tight end. Chargers going Benjamin St-Juste. I don't think he's a zone corner, and you're going to be running more of a man scheme. So I don't really know about that pick too much at all. Vikings going Hamza. Like it. I really like it. It's going to be a great replacement for Anthony Harris. Raiders Creed Humphrey. Like it. That's something I like. And along with Milton Williams, I think I actually brought Milton Williams to the Raiders. Like a lot of upside right here. Creed Humphrey as a guard, Milton Williams as an as pretty much a 3-4 defensive end or a 4-3 D tackle. I absolutely love Milton Williams. Dolphins going Dwayne Eskridge. There's your slot guy. So now we understand why he took Devontae Smith, and he's going to be a day one impact. So honestly, I think you could have went just Dwayne Eskridge here and then gone maybe a Christian Darsaw. Well, actually, at their pick, yeah, they'd have to go Darsaw. So honestly, I don't know. I don't vibe with it too much. Washington, Chaz Surratt. I love that. You pair him up with Cole Holcomb. Like it. Bears going Talon Wallace. I really like that pick as well. Something that can actually potentially be a number one wide receiver, unlike these guys who are slot wide receivers they're trying to say will take over AR-12's position. Bills, Michael Carter. I'm going to push back against that. That's you're pretty much getting a better version of the same guys. It doesn't really seem like you really want to continue to add the same thing to a formula that hasn't fully worked. Patriots, Trill Williams. I think that'd be a great fit. Great fit. Jets, Ben Cleveland. Again, he's actually more the man corner on Syracuse, so it's a good fit. Jets, Ben Cleveland. There you go. There's your guard fit. I still think Trey Smith might be still on the board. If he is, then I'd go Trey Smith there. But Ben Cleveland's a solid guard. Steelers, Trey Sermon. I can see Trey Sermon going to the Steelers. I'm just worried shitless about injuries. Rams going David Moore. Very surprised to see him this high. I'm going to be honest. This is where I go Josh Myers as well. Another center that you can put on your roster. Two centers are going. Their center is, I think Austin Blythe is gone. And also the other guys are up for contract next year. Cardinals, Dylan Moses. It all depends on the physical. The medicals all are huge in this one. Brennan James, not a fan. Not a fan of Brennan James to the Vikings. I don't think Brennan James is even draftable from what I've seen. Browns, Amon-Ra. Excuse me. Somebody with versatility. I like it. Solid. Packers, Keith Taylor. Good. I think you do need two corners in this draft, so I guess it's pretty solid overall. Still think that you could have probably won the interior defensive line there or something. Bills, Nico Collins. You're getting a big-ass wide receiver, and that would be interesting. I'd like to see how he's used. Chiefs, Walker Little. I love that. Now you have your starting tackles, and you have somebody who will develop into the future in your tackle position. Bucks, Kenny Gainwell. Exactly what you were looking for with like a LaShawn McCoy, Austin Eckler type. Big fan of that. Patriots, Davis Mills. Pretty damn good. He has mobility as well. I think he could fit very well in this squad. Chargers, Hamilcar Rashed. Somebody who you don't need because you have an Nintendo Nwosu. I'm a big fan of it. Medicals, big concern. Saints, Shi Smith. Another gadget weapon. Don't know why you're having two slot wide receivers in these two rounds over here. Cowboys, Carmen. Somebody who could probably play guard for you. Good backup guard. And then someone who could potentially develop as a tackle. Arms a little too short. Titans, Hunter Long, like it. You get to replace Jonnu Smith. Lions, Seth Williams. Definitely a high upside pick right there. So I like it. 49ers, Kendrick Green. Perfect fit. Zone run scheme right there. Big fan of Kendrick Green on the squad. Can play center as well. Rams, Quincy Roche. Do like it. Very high upside. Very high floor player with a lot of experience. Ravens, Cornell Powell. Don't know how much I vibe with that, but he will be able to have a very good catch radius. Popped on the same at Clemson. And then Deo from Vanderbilt. I need to watch him. So Trevor Sikkema, this is by far the best draft I've ever seen from TDN. So let me know what you guys think. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the far side. Peace.